vital to our existence, and it is estimated that humans can survive for only 3 to 4 weeks without it. Fortunately, in America, we have access to an abundance of healthy and delicious food all around us. But instead of appreciating this abundance of healthy food, Americans waste 40% of our food by throwing it away, which accounts for about $43.8 billion spent per year on food that isn't even eaten. Not only is this a waste of money, but it is estimated that 1 in 6 Americans are considered food insecure, meaning they do not know when, where, or what their next meal will be. We are literally throwing away food that can be used to feed someone else in need. Food waste is defined as any consumable material or product that is ultimately disposed of in a landfill. This is a growing concern. In fact, there's 50% more food waste per person since the 1970s. How can this be? Food waste occurs during all stages of the food system, during production, harvesting, processing, distribution, preparation, and consumption. In the production stage, food waste occurs due to weather or insect damage, and due to selectively harvesting for the most visually appealing crops. In the food distribution and sales stage, food is wasted when a product's packaging becomes damaged or when it has reached its sell-by date. Due to changing levels in demand, over-preparation of food in commercial areas such as restaurants and schools often leads to food waste as well. Unfortunately, when it comes to food, today's consumers live by the philosophy, when in doubt, throw it out. Consumers often purchase more food than they can consume, and throw away what is left simply because they dislike leftovers or because it has passed its expiration date.
Food waste has multiple negative environmental impacts, such as the loss of natural resources, pollution, and the increasing amount of greenhouse gas emissions created during production and disposal. In fact, organic waste is the second largest component in landfills. Also, millions of miles have been deforested in order to make room for landfills. Millions of gallons of fuel are used for farming equipment and transportation, and about half of water used in food production is wasted on growing crops that will never be eaten. The production of greenhouse gases that are generated during energy usage and the abundance of rotting food both contribute to global warming and climate change. There are negative social implications to food waste as well. The fact that so much food is wasted while Americans are in need or starving is appalling. People who do not have access or the means to purchase food often face deadly health issues. Malnutrition prevents the body's ability to fight infection and disease, and as a result, death often occurs if professional medical attention is not found. Many businesses are already donating unsold food to charities that support people in need, but how can you make a difference? An easy way to start is by seeing your personal impact. To see how much food waste you generate, try weighing your uneaten food after dinner for a week to see how much you're really throwing away. The results will shock you. The solutions for solving the food waste problem today come from the daily practices of the people. It is as simple as reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce the amount you buy, reuse what you don't eat by saving as leftovers or freezing it, and recycle your food waste by composting and recycling your food containers or packaging. Regardless of your living situation, there are other options on how to reuse your food rather than throwing it out. In fact, here at Towson University, there is a composting program that welcomes your food waste.
I'm John Brady. I'm Director of Operations with Towson Dining Services. Starting in 2010, Towson put out an RFP, which is a request for proposal, to look at different companies that could help them solve that composting solution. And the big thing was getting the food waste separated, but taking it somewhere off campus where they could actually process it into the compost. And there was a company called Waste Neutral that got the contract with Towson University. So all food waste will go into these collection containers to be separated and to be composted. Things that are man-made are out of the question. So if it's plastic, it's out. For every ton of food waste that leaves campus, it comes back as I'll call it like a fertilizer or a topsoil. On average now, we're separating about 135,000 pounds a year. Program year to date, we're probably about 406,000 pounds. You know, Waste Neutral's doing it for a cost. You're removing a ton of waste from the waste stream that's going to the landfill. So that means that the university doesn't have to pay that cost for tipping fees. There's nothing bad about it. Straight up, there's nothing bad about it. You know, if they're pulling it out of the waste stream and it's going to create like a second life in topsoil or fertilizer, whatever the case may be, I mean, that's definitely a good thing. In these last couple of weeks, we've been running a program in the dining halls called Project Clean Plate. And really what that is, that's an awareness program. As gross as it sounds, okay, we set up this little table by the dish return, and you know, somebody comes back with a plate with food on it, we're scraping it in. And they're saying, what are you doing that for? Because, you know, we're measuring waste.
Marcy is logging today the amount of food that's coming back on the trays that is waste. So what she's doing is she's weighing it on the scale, she puts it into a container, and then we are logging it here so the students can see how much actual waste we have in a given period of time during the meal period.
We want to create the awareness of, like, you know, people's eyes are bigger than their stomachs sometimes when they walk into the dining hall, and they'll get one of these, one of that, and give me a little bit of that, and then they find that they're not that hungry. So this is kind of an awareness, like, you can always come back for more, but think about what you're taking the first time around so you can reduce that waste.
Also, some individuals are advocates of dumpster diving, or searching the dumpsters outside of grocery stores and high-scale food markets to take for free. Many of these foods are still perfectly safe to eat since most of them remain in packaging and are just slightly past the sell-by or best-by dates. However, you don't have to be a dumpster diver to make a significant difference. Be smart about your grocery store purchases, plan meals ahead of time, store your food properly, and if you happen to buy too much, invite a friend or two over to share. Even those small changes can create a drastic change in the amount of food that Americans waste, so that one day, everyone will go to bed with stomachs full of healthy meals.